away from the Premier League. I generally believe the best course of action for Joao Felix right now would be to join a team like PSG or to go back to a team like Benfica. Down to it, you win games of football by outscoring the competition, and the most valuable players are the players that help the team to do that more often than not. That's why Cole Palmer is also one of the most talented players in the world. But what makes Cole Palmer a world-class player is the fact that he does it week. Let's react to Joao Felix without wasting any more time, guys. Let's get straight into it. Again, Felix is still he's not an old player yet. He's not washed, so I won't say that. But he's not necessarily young anymore. You know, you consider a player like Amad Diallo or Lamine Yamal young. Those are young players. Joao Felix is no longer in that stage. Joao Felix is now an older player who's been playing football for a long time, who's played professional football for a long time for Atletico Madrid, Chelsea and Benfica. But when you look at Joao Felix, you can clearly tell that skill-wise, he's one of the best players in this Chelsea team, if not the most skillful player in this Chelsea team. You know, of course, Cole Palmer has a lot to say about that, and Cole Palmer is much more efficient than Joao Felix. But in terms of skillfulness and in terms of talent, I'll put Joao Felix up there with anyone else. But here's the problem about Felix. It's something I've been talking about for a long time. He is so inconsistent. It hurts to be a Joao Felix fan or to be or to give Joao Felix any type of support, because no matter what you say about how good he is on the ball or how good he is on the build-up play or how he can play in different positions, the fact of the matter is that Joao Felix does not do anything truly substantial for forwards in a football game. Look at the season where Felix has played 17 games. He's only scored 5 goals, and 4 of those goals came in the Conference League. And we all know that Chelsea are running rampant in the Conference League because there's no one that can put up a fight to Chelsea. So I'm not impressed by those 4 goals in the Conference League. And in the Premier League, where he's played 10 games, he's only scored 1 goal. He has 1 goal and 1 assist. And you know, football, at the end of the day, is much more than goals and assists. And that is part of the reason why I really like Joao Felix, because talent-wise and, you know, everything else that has to do with football, his passing, his build-up play, his creativity, his reading of the game, Joao Felix is, I still believe, I said this before in this video already, he's one of the most skillful players in the world. He's one of the most talented players in the world. However, when it comes down to it, you win games of football by outscoring the competition, and the most valuable players are the players that help the team to do that more often than not. That's why Cole Palmer is also one of the most talented players in the world. But what makes Cole Palmer a world-class player is the fact that he does it week in and week out. You know, Cole Palmer is always on it, and you look at Cole Palmer, and he's so influential to this Chelsea team. He's so influential to what Chelsea are trying to achieve in the league, in the Conference League, in whatever cup you want to talk about. Cole Palmer gets the job done. Even when, you know, they were playing for England. When he was playing for England, Cole Palmer gets the job done. And that's the difference between great players and not even great, but just good players and talented players. And Cole Palmer is quickly becoming a great player. Cole Palmer is quickly becoming one of the great players in this sport. Whereas Joao Felix, he's not even good anymore. He's extremely talented, but at the end of the day, he's not making anything happen. And this is why I believe Joao Felix, he needs to get away from the Premier League. I generally believe the best course of action for Joao Felix right now would be to join a team like PSG or to go back to a team like Benfica, where he's able to build on his talent. Because right now, playing at Chelsea, there's not enough space on that team because there's just a lot of players. There's Sancho, there's Palmer, there's so many players playing in that position. There's Modric, there's Nicholas Jackson, so many players playing in positions that Joao Felix can play. I really believe that Joao Felix to get back that consistency that we all saw when he was at Benfica, because really and truly that's what made him so expensive when he went to Atletico Madrid. It was the fact that at Benfica, this guy was putting up numbers second to none, and of course his talent was still there. I still think that those parts of the game Joao Felix does a lot better now. I feel like his reading of the game and his dribbling is a lot better now than before. He's much more efficient. However, what Felix was able to do before was put up goals and assists like no one else. He was the youngest player to get a hat-trick in the Europa League, playing for Benfica at the time. And the things he was doing in the league, I still remember there was this one game against Porto where Benfica had to go to Porto in the second half of the season, and they had to beat Porto to win the league. And Felix scored the winning goal. And you know, he was going up against players like Pepe. And this 19-year-old kid scored the winning goal to allow Benfica to win the league. Those were the things that Joao Felix was doing. But the Joao Felix of today, in 10 games played, or in 17 games played, he only has 5 goals. This is not the same player. This is what I mean. He needs to stop. He needs to get out of the Premier League and play somewhere else where he's able to bring back that consistency. Because I said this before, in terms of talent, he's up there, but that consistency that makes that separates talented players to good and then great players is something that Felix does not have. And then you talk about the all-time great players like Salah is already an all-time great player. Is because Salah is not only consistent throughout the season, Salah has been able to be consistent for years. And Felix wants to get back to, you know, playing his best football. He needs to find that consistency again. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you for watching the video. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, do all these things to please help me grow this channel. And as per usual, I'll see you soon.